What's up, guys? Tambo here with your weekly core report. It's a big week for Run Pure members across both NBA and NFL. Let's get into the winners. In the NBA streets, Bowl 800 turned $12 into 4K. C. Corms turned $76 into 4K as well. Leroy hit for $4,600, while Y Guy 223 shipped for $12,000. Our guy AP joined in the fun, hitting for $8,000. Turning to NFL, it was another great week for us, especially when it came to Showdown. I parlayed my appearance on our premium Thursday night Print Factory show into 61K, featuring a lineup with Dallas Goedert in the captain spot. RPS coordinators were all over the Goedert captain play, appearing not only in my premium attack plan, but Mangone pushed it as well, helping Nadesify ship for over 67K, while Pete Vegas hit for $7,200 over on FanDuel. But the biggest hit came on Monday Night Showdown, where RPS content was all over Kenyon Drake in the captain spot. Captain Drake was pushed on our free Showdown show by special guest Chris Randone, in addition to our Talking Touchdown show with Spread, Tyler, and Title, where Tyler called his shot, nailing the Drake call ahead of shipping $29,000 for himself.
75% of carries, like he's going to be unowned, like low owned because of his price. He's got to be even more low owned as a captain because his price jumps even more. If he scores 2 touchdowns in this one, you could be golden.
Guys, if you have not subscribed to our free YouTube channel, take a second right now and get it done. Racer 1A joined in with a 10K hit from Showdown. Kanoski 69 hit for 22K as well. Lox rode Drake Captain to a 30K score to continue his heater, while I shipped 2 more King of the Beach seats. But the biggest win was by Run Pure member Homebrew, who hit the perfect unique lineup, solo shipping for a monster $500,000. He joined our NFL First Look show to talk about his big night.
Randone just mentioned at the end of the show, the very end, it was the last lineup I made. It was the end of the show, and he said, Kenyon Drake, captain. And I was like, well, I don't have one of those. Let me make one of those.
Congrats again to all our members. If you want to be featured in the core report, drop your winning lineup in the Members Never Win channel in our premium Discord. If you're not a member, join now. You won't find a better value with all sports included for one low price. And while you're watching, hit that like button right now. Remember, if you're not winning with us, you're watching us win. Until next time, let's keep running pure.
What is going on? Happy Wednesday and welcome to the First Look over here on Run Pure Sports. I'm Eric Crain and I am joined as I am every single Wednesday. We got Lox, we got AP. AP, how is your Wednesday going?
Yeah, the Wednesday is going really well, off of a nice kind of day off from the NBA. You know, just they didn't have any games going on because of voting and everything. So it was nice, you know, those days are kind of nice because they don't happen too often. It's like a 7-day grind all the way until the NBA goes until like April. March, way past March. I mean, it's crazy. But real quick, do want to say, I think, all right, so I know the website, I'll take this moment just to, you know, talk a little bit about the website because I think we've made a lot of progress from the weekend. So if you haven't yet, Big T wrote up a really nice piece. Go over to the website, check it out, read it. Very authentic, very transparent, which is what we try to be over here. So the long short of it is we're always supposed to make these adjustments Tuesday when there was no sports except for hockey going on, basically. And something happened which forced us to expedite everything. We had to do it in an hour time, like on NFL Sunday. And it's just brutal timing. Obviously, no excuses on our end, but it caused some additional headaches. We feel those things are past us. Tonight will be a good test. I am 98.5% confident that the site is going to be fine. But we do know that the new host, the new server, the new consultant that we have brought on is very, very, very good. So we know that if there is anything that happens tonight, it's something that's going to get fixed very, very, very quickly, but I do not foresee anything happening. So hopefully lock is good and everything is good up to that. But now back to NFL. Excited to for early first look, break this down with you fellas.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to the site, working. And again, I've only been at Run Pure Sports for, I guess it's been 2 months now. Am I a vet? 2 months? I feel like I've been around for a while, and it's tough to imagine a group of people more upset than you guys were when the site went down, because you guys really do want everything to go as smoothly as possible for the user, and it's going to get back up, and it's going to kick ass. That's just how it is. Lox, how you doing on this Wednesday?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Another week behind us, another week to dive in. Just excited to see what this slate brings along. Obviously, this is a first look, so we're just diving in here to take a first look and hopefully pick you guys some winners to begin the week.
Yeah.
Oh, Lox, hey, Lox, not trying to interrupt, but congrats again on another massive night the other night. The winners just come every week. It's congrats, Lox, just winning all the money. You love to see it.
It really is funny. Like, I just have I've got a calendar of shit I have to do every week. It's like Wednesday, congratulate Lox. Friday, congratulate Tambo on the show. Sunday, congratulate Big T and Hoop. Like, it's just on my calendar. AP and Holden, like the other guys to do the show with. You guys are just by the wayside. Sorry, like I don't have to congratulate you.
100%.
Oh man, but you know what? We're gonna try and congratulate some new people this week. Lox, we hope you win too. But we got a week this week where finally our stud quarterbacks are back. We've got Josh Allen on the slate. We've got Patrick Mahomes on the slate. We've got, speaking of stud quarterbacks, Josh Fields on the slate. Somebody I know that I was all over last week, and that worked out okay for me. I didn't win any Lox money, but it was okay for your boy over here with Josh Fields, and they have priced him up now to 6,500. And I am going to say, first look, Justin Fields. Sorry. Josh Fields is a
Josh Fields.
Yeah. No, I just got that. There is an athlete. Hold on. There's an athlete named Josh Fields.
Oh man.
Hey, we got our $500,000 man in the chat. Let's go.
Well, nice. I didn't have the chat up. Josh Fields is a professional baseball player for the Dodgers. Boom. See? It's baseball season's over, but I'm still paying attention. Yeah. Okay. Justin Fields. He's sitting there at $6,500. He's been, I think, the QB2 in the last 6 weeks. And I don't know, like, it almost feels that he's underpriced against Detroit. Like, I don't care that he got a price bump of $700. I still want to play him. I like him just as much as these guys like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. Lox, I see you shaking your head, and I'm glad, because I'm a little bit concerned that I'm a prisoner of the moment here, but I still like Justin Fields.
Yeah, definitely a guy I'll be getting to this week. Absolutely. Just opening up here and looking at this. I mean, against Detroit, why not? They continue to use him. He continues to use his legs. He's getting better as a passer. So if he could just get some wideouts and playmaking around him, he'd be all right. But he showed us last week what he can do, and I'll be right back to him this week at 6,500. There is some spend ups you obviously want to get to. But it's all depending on where you want to get to on all the other positions. That's how you kind of got to look at it. I mean, Mahomes and Allen are always great plays. Mahomes being $700 cheaper than Allen, I'm going to easily go there against Jacksonville. So definitely have me a little bit of Mahomes. I know AP is going to be loving that one. So that's just my kind of thoughts right away looking at this. Tua's in a nice spot against Cleveland possibly. I hate Kyler Murray. I continue to play him, and he sucks. So I'll might finally be off of him a little bit.
You can stop. You can stop with the Kyler Murray. Like, it's just.
So I think I'm done on that train. Yeah. I'm moving on.
Yeah, like I mean, like, I know I was in a group chat last night, and they were talking about buying Call of Duty. So like, all I do is think about Kyler whenever I hear that. I just can't. I don't know. I'm off of Kyler. And it feels nice. Like AP, it feels really nice just seeing Kyler's name. Okay, he's expensive. A few people will play him. Not going to be me. I'm glad that other people are going to do it. I don't want to mess with it. What about you?
Kyler Murray, like, I don't know. It's just a guy I'm never tempted to really play that much. The Rams defense is good. So I don't know. I would rather play your boy Josh Fields at 6,500.
Oh, man.
Now, the thing I like about Justin Fields is just, man, he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. The offense is clicking. The defense is still very bad. Going up against a Detroit team that has a bad defense. we could see some back and forth scoring there. So I think you gotta consider Justin Fields. I feel like he's going to be, very popular. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, yeah, my guy. My worry here is I think the Chiefs win big, lay one on it. I think they give the running backs some love. We've seen Mahomes put up these big games when he's trailing, come from behind, which was the case last week, had to throw it a ton. Whenever they get into spots like that, they are going to just absolutely give up on the run, focus on the pass. And that's what we saw, 68 throwing, throws from Pat Mahomes last week, just absolutely insane. They got Pacheco, McKinnon, CEH, who must be in the doghouse or something, because he's their third guy now, which is crazy. I'm telling you, I think the Chiefs situation is just going to continue to be really tilting from a DFS standpoint, trying to figure out who is the guy that gets the love. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind just being under or avoiding that spot. I will say, we're not to receiver yet. I'll wait for my takes there. But my main point is man, I'm a little worried about paying 7-9 for Patrick Mahomes. So we will see. Other quarterbacks I'm looking at right out of the gate. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I keep going back to Fields, and I just feel like with how often he's running the ball now, with how good the matchup is, I think the Bears get a win here. I just think, man, his floor ceiling combination is really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough to dislike Justin Fields or Josh Fields for that matter. Shout out Josh Fields. If we're going cheap here, locks, God, there's just not a whole lot to like. You could make a case for Daniel Jones at 5,700 at home against Houston. You could make a case if, AP thinks Kansas City wins big. That means Trevor Lawrence is going to be throwing a lot. He's 5,400 at KC. Do either of those guys interest you?
Yeah, actually, as I was just looking down here, those are a couple guys that are the only couple that I could see myself really spending down for at this position. Is Daniel Jones against Houston. Can easily have a good game. I mean, he continues to run the ball well. So any quarterback that can run the ball and get you a couple rushing touchdowns or even one, that helps you out. So if you can get him at 5,700 and save some salary there, you can spend up at other places. So definitely a guy I'll be interested in. Trevor Lawrence, not so much, possibly just because of the game script, maybe. He will be chucking. Jacoby Brissett's interesting against Miami, possibly. But I don't think I'll be getting to any of these guys. I think I'm going to spend my QB spot in the $6,500 and up range this week.
Very specific $6,500. AP, either of those guys interest you? Come on. I know you want some Trevor Lawrence. Throw the ball 45 times. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, the script is fine. ETN is just too they're not gonna abandon, even if they're trailing, which they're going to be. I think they're still going to give ETN, I think they're still going to try to speed the game up by feeding ETN early. I don't think it's going to work, but I don't know. I don't really like Trevor Lawrence. I mean, maybe maybe going back to Tua. I don't know. I'm going to like Nick Chubb this week. So if you want to stack, if we see this game playing overs, we could run Chubb and then Tua to, Tyreek Hill or Waddle. I could look at that. I don't know. I mean, more and more, the more I look at this, it just seems like there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks I can cross off this week, which I kind of like. I mean, with Justin Fields, I mean, how popular do we think he's going to be? Is he going to be pretty high up there?
Very popular. Yeah.
20%.
I think 20% is a good over under.
Yeah.
That's,
yeah.
I mean, obviously it's Wednesday and we're going to have to kind of see what's going to happen in the industry. But
if Josh Allen's good to go, I would have a ton of interest in him as well. So a little bounce back spot.
It is funny that we just kind of wrote off Josh Allen immediately. That's pretty telling, because again, it's first look show. We're going to have to pay attention to what happens across the industry. We're going to have to pay attention to who's getting steamed up, to who other people are playing. And that's something that we will pay attention to throughout the week. But it wouldn't shock me if, as we just did, people look at this spot and they go, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes is $700 cheaper than Josh Allen. I'm going to play Mahomes. I mean, Locks, would it shock you if that happened throughout the industry and Josh Allen ends up being low owned?
No, absolutely not. And that's where, I mean, I'm definitely not going to get off of Josh Allen. I wasn't necessarily saying that, but it just depends on where you want to spend up. Like I always say, if you want to spend up at running back, wide receiver, you got to spend down a QB a little bit. So it just depends on where you want to go. Ownership wise, yeah, I think Allen's going to come in lower owned than Mahomes just because of price. So I'll definitely be having him.
And you look at, the Buffalo Bills situation right now, coming off of a bad loss, you get, he's going to want to feed, these guys in this game against Minnesota. Minnesota coming off a big win. Like, this could really be an FU spot from Buffalo. Like, that would not shock me whatsoever. And like, where they just want to pour it on and put up 45 points against Minnesota. So I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't have written off Josh Allen so quickly. But as far as Justin Fields go, I think it's pretty clear he's going to be the chalk. Like, I don't know how he's not the chalk. I don't know. Nobody stands out as, oh, well, he won't be the chalk because people are going to go here. I don't see the cheap guy this week. Daniel Jones isn't going to be popular. Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be popular. Patrick Mahomes, he's clearly going to get some ownership. Josh Allen, I don't know if he's going to get a lot of ownership at that price tag. And then you look at these mid-range guys. Nobody wants to play Dak. Tua, okay, you can definitely play Tua, but I think people are going to say, why would I play Tua when I can get the rushing floor and upside with Fields for 200 less? Nobody's playing Aaron Rodgers. Nobody's playing Russ. Nobody's playing Cousins. Like, the ownership has to go to Fields. I don't know where else it would go. So I don't know. You're going to have to eat some chalk if you play Justin Fields this week. I do think it's good chalk. People say, well, is he just been hot? No, I think Fields has turned a corner. Like, I think Fields is just that guy now. And, maybe I'm being a prisoner of the moment. But as far as Justin Fields go, he looks pretty damn good to me. Let's talk about some running backs.
I will say, Crain, you bring up like a couple good things. Like, the thing about it, if he is super popular, like in tournaments, man, this is a good running matchup. And we know the Bears love to run the ball, and they got Herbert and Montgomery. So it's like, gosh, those guys could vulture. It could be a spot maybe where Fields isn't running for his life, because that's, from a fantasy standpoint, that's kind of what you want, because that's where he, piles up the points, getting those rushing yards and everything. So I don't know. I think it's just going to be really, like, I do like the Josh Allen, if he's good to go, onslaught. Just seeing it, like, I think the Vikings are overrated. I'm with you on that one.
The Vikings, they're going from a dome to outdoors. It's just coming off the big win. You saw them drink it on the plane home. Like, it's just everything to me, Bills coming off the loss. Everything to me screams Bills FU game.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some running backs. If you're paying up, Saquon against Houston. Everybody goes off against Houston. We've been struggling to pay up for running backs all season, basically. We've had a lot of good value running backs, but Saquon against Houston is one of those spots where you get a terrible run defense. You get a running back that gets all the usage. You get a running back that catches passes. Everything to me screams Saquon might go for 30 here. AP, if you're spinning up, I like Derrick Henry. Nick Chubb, I don't like as much. I don't like Dalvin Cook as much. It seems like if you're spinning up, it has to be Saquon.
You don't like Nick Chubb? This dude, like, continues to just put up monster numbers. I don't know. I kind of like Nick Chubb.
He does fall into the end zone a lot. That's true.
Yeah, but like, so Saquon, he's so due. I think we've talked about it a couple times, just looking at the volume he's getting. He's due for an eruption type spot. And we saw it, I think, week one. Man, it would not surprise me, because like, we love playing running backs against this Texans squad. So I'm with you on Saquon. I like Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb's just an absolute beast. I think it's a good spot for him against the Dolphins. So I'll go there. I'm not as sold on Derrick Henry. You're going to have to sell me on Derrick Henry. The Broncos defense is pretty stout. I see this game being pretty ugly, but King Henry is going to get, a ton of looks here. So I might be able to be talked into him. Then yeah, I don't know. I'm going to keep it pretty simple. I think I like Nick Chubb. If I'm spending up, probably be like a one spend up route for me at the running back position this week. Looking at Saquon or Nick Chubb.
I just can't do Nick Chubb. Like, I just can't do it. Like, I can't imagine, I know it's a $500 savings. I can't imagine playing Chubb over Saquon. And again, you can't play two of these guys. And Chubb, I mean, he's so touchdown dependent. Like, I don't know. If he doesn't fall into the end zone twice, you're screwed. Whereas Saquon, he's going to catch some passes.
He's had over 100 yards in 5 out of 8 games.
Okay, I'm just saying that, like, he's still got to fall into the end zone.
Yeah,
I can go the other way
great.
too.
Against
He's been
the
doing
Jets,
that a lot.
3 rushing touchdowns. Against the Chargers, 2 rushing touchdowns. Last week, the last time they played, the Bengals, 2 rushing touchdowns. So multiple games with multiple scores.
One
so I'm
catch,
not too concerned.
1 catch, 2 catch, 1 catch. Like he's gone, he's gone over 20 in one of his last 3 games. Like, I just
4 of the 5 before that.
That's fine. I mean, I'm just like we can do that all day. Like,
how are the Dolphins against the? I will say he is on the road, and I mean, if the Dolphins got up early, the script would go
I
away,
will play. I'm going to play a shitload of Amari Cooper too. So okay. I look at this spot. Like, I look at this spot. If I play a ton of Amari, like, I can't play Chubb too. And again,
that makes sense.
I just cannot imagine playing Saquon or playing Chubb over Saquon. I can't do it. It's not something that I have any interest in.
No, yeah. I wouldn't say I would play him over Saquon necessarily.
But that's what you have to do if you're playing him.
Yeah.
Man, the more I think about it too, like with how the Titans are going to play defense, I mean, just look at what they did to like Mahomes and how they're forcing the Chiefs to, like, Mahomes was, I mean, they were forcing him to run. And that's going to be the same case with Russ Wilson. Gosh, they could absolutely control the game here. So you might be I might be sold on Derrick Henry with you, Crain.
I mean, and you forgot to mention the Broncos just lost Bradley Chubb too. Which is going to affect their run defense. Like, I would play Henry over Chubb too. Like, just because Henry gets all the usage. Like, Chubb is 3rd place amongst these top 3 running backs. You guys are insane for wanting to play Chubb.
And that's another thing too, is Bradley Chubb went to Miami. So Nick Chubb's got to run against him.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, there we go. Just like I was thinking.
So there you go.
Hey, first look show. We're still gathering our thoughts, guys. Don't think this is going to be final thoughts, but yeah, I don't know.
But either way, I'm going to be smashing Travis Etienne at $7,100.
Oh, let's go. City.
Okay, so here,
I'm with you there. Like, think about these teams. What, like, the mistake I made in the showdown Sunday night, I was all in on KC 5-1s, except for my donkey ass like faded, or I was under on Derrick Henry, which was just like dumb, because that, like, teams are trying to run the ball a ton against Kansas City. They're trying to speed up the game to limit, Mahomes being on the field. Man, Jags are going to do the same. They're going to feed ETN. So I love that call. I'm with Locks on him.
Yeah, I mean, look, ETN, I made the biggest mistake I've made all year last week, where I was on ETN for all season. I've been on ETN since week 1. I'm like, you guys don't understand. He's about to break out. I was on him the week he broke out, and I did a little victory lap. And then I had this stupid gut feeling where I was like, I think he might not get there on Sunday morning. And it creeped in Sunday morning, and it was complete fancy play syndrome. And instead of looking at the good spots, I decided to get cute, and I faded ETN. Now, I will say it didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt me because my decision was ETN or Kenneth Walker. So whatever, it ended up being just fine. But yeah, I'm not going to fade him this time. 7,100, like, he's obviously a great play. He's going to keep getting the ball a million times a game. And I will say, AP, if you think that KC blows Jacksonville out, which you said, doesn't ETN worry you a little bit?
I mean, not really, like, because like with how Kansas City plays, they're so aggressive defensively. You're going to see a ton of blitzing, spots. And if the Jags, dial up a few fancy screens to him, you could see, a couple like big plays just out of like get ETN in space, let him do his thing. Or in a trailing script, maybe he gets a bunch of dump offs. We saw Eckler go off against KC DFS wise because of those last few drives where he was just getting, like, he got 7 catches, like just, getting dump offs out of the backfield, moving the ball down the field. So I just think the dude looks good. He's going to be the route for them to get production offensively. And I think it's just what they're going to have to do to make the game look better than what the final score is going to look like.
I'm looking at some of these prices, and DK has very clearly decided we're not letting you guys just play 6K running backs anymore. They priced AJ Dillon at 6,700. Like AJ freaking Dillon at 6,700.
I kind of like that though, because like people are gonna like the running backs have just been crushing, and people are they're gonna be over-owned, and man, we can easily go back to our receivers, and I think it's going to create a lot of nice opportunities in tournaments.
So if we're trying to save at running back this week, it's tough. I guess one guy you could look at is Jaylen Warren. There have been some reports out of Pittsburgh that he might end up starting over Najee Harris, and I would definitely have some interest at 4.9 if that's a thing. I mean, is it a great spot? No, but I think on a slate where we're struggling to find value running backs, I think Jaylen Warren's interesting. Locke, is there anybody in this value range that interests you? Or even in the mid-range, in like the 6Ks, we haven't really talked about that range either. Devin Singletary is a guy that I'm going to be heavily invested in, which is weird because I don't think I've played Devin Singletary in 3 years. Locks, who do you like in this kind of value 6K-ish range?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot down here that's really interesting me. There's a couple names that pop out to me. I got a little bit of interest in Tony Pollard, possibly. I'm not sure how Zeke looks this week, if he's going to play or not. I haven't really heard yet. And then actually the guy that I do like is Dameon Pierce at 6,300 against the Giants. I do like that play. So even Pierce and Barkley in the same lineup, I really wouldn't mind that. I could see both those running backs really smashing. But those are just a couple guys down here that I like.
Pierce is a guy they're just going to keep fading. Over 20 carries in 3 of his last 4 games, and the Giants not great against the run. Like, you can just keep playing Pierce at this sub 6K range.
Yeah, 27 carries. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, and I see no reason where they're going to stop. It's not like the Giants are a team that can blow the Texans out. So, in a game where they can't get blown out, they're going to keep feeding him. And Pierce at 6,300 is going to be one of the guys that I'm playing. I assume Pierce is going to be popular though, because when there's not as many people in this range to play, like, the guys have to be popular. These Miami guys, I mean, you play Mostert, you play Jeff Wilson. Like, I don't, these situations drive me crazy, AP. Like, I don't want to play any of these guys because I don't know who it's going to be. What do you think about this mid 6K range?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit tough. Like, what do we think about Jamal Williams getting 24 rush attempts?
I was just going to say him. Good call, AP, for sure. I like that.
Yeah, like I think you could, keep an eye, obviously, on like the coach speak and stuff around Swift. If he's on another pitch count, Jamal Williams has been, a viable back. So, in a good spot too, here against the Bears. So it is thin though down here. Like, I guess like in 150 formats, like playing the Millie Maker, like Pacheco, I would have him in my pool, just like playing the script. If KC wins like 30 something to, whatever, you got we haven't seen a script where KC continues to be playing from behind against these teams. So we haven't it's been a while since we've seen them be run heavy in any of these games. So at any point in time, we could see one of those running backs go off, but I think it's only tournament viable. Like, if you're building 3 lineups, not even on my radar, So the other guy too, I think down here in that same range is Kareem Hunt. If you think the Dolphins go up early, and he's a guy that gets work in there anyway, but it could definitely be a Kareem Hunt type of day. And at 5'3", he's a guy that could get in the box 1 or 2 times. If it isn't Nick Chubb, has to be Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
Or Amari Cooper for Ukraine.
This is such an Amari Cooper week. Maybe I changed my mind. It's only Wednesday, but just my first look, this seems like an absolute explosion spot for Amari Cooper. I hope nobody plays him. That would be beautiful. So neither of you mentioned Warren or Singletary. Was it just because I was puffing him up, or
I'm not a big fan. I'm just not a big fan.
Okay. Just because
there's just too many other spots. I'll be paying up a little bit here. I'm not kind of down really.
AP, are you a fan of either of those guys? You seem like you'd like Singletary, but your face, your mouth is going like this.
No,
I don't think that's Singletary.
when you have Josh Allen, it's just tough. Like it's like Singletary. Like I don't know, he rarely gets.
I never play him.
Yeah.
And this is a week where I think I might talk myself into it. If I think they blow him out,
Yeah,
Singletary will be a little involved.
I mean, the coaches could sit Allen down and be like, "Look, man, you got to protect yourself a little bit more." Like, I know, in Kansas City they had that chat with Mahomes. So I mean, Allen's a beast, though. He's physically just an absolute beast. But if they tell him, "Hey, like you got to protect yourself a little bit," maybe they get a little bit more conservative here. And if they do, put up a big number on the Vikings, then yeah, I mean, it could make some sense. But again, they got Hines and then they got James Cook too. So like James Cook continues to get work as well. So again, in Millie Maker formats, you could play that same script. If you think the Bills win big here, which I bet against them. I was on the Jets last week. I think I want to go back to the Bills here, though. I just, it's the NFL. Things happen all the time. 4-8 for James Cook. I mean, Millie Maker play for sure.
All right, let's talk some wide receivers. And we're going to talk some cheaper receivers this week because if we're paying up at running back and if we're paying up at quarterback, and I consider 6,500 paying up at quarterback, we're going to have to find some cheap receivers. First, let's talk about the expensive tier because Tyreek Hill, he's just been on an absolute tear. He's the most expensive guy now. And we're just going to continue to see this Dolphins team feed him. Like, it's very clear Josh McDaniels, I always call him Jalen McDaniels. It is NBA season. It's very clear Josh McDaniels, he just wants to keep feeding his top two options. Tyreek Hill over 30 points in 3 of his last 4 games. A good spot, an okay spot against Cleveland. I don't know. I don't love this spot, but he's going to keep feeding Hill. We have to like this spot. If we're paying up, we can play him, Justin Jefferson. I don't know. I think the Bills kind of kicked the shit out of Minnesota here, so I'm not so sure I'll be all over Jefferson. Cooper Kupp, he's been a little bit banged up. Locks, if you're paying up a wide receiver, is there anybody that stands out?
If I'm paying up, it's just the normal guys. I mean, Tyreek Hill and Waddle obviously are good spots. Cleveland's not terrible on defense, so that's kind of iffy for me. I don't know if I'm going to get to those guys. Cooper Kupp's always a smash. Jefferson's just been an absolute stud. He continues to get all the targets. He said he wants more red zone looks. He got those last week, so I don't mind paying for him. I think they're going to be chucking because they're going to be down, so I actually do like him a little bit this week. I think Devontae regresses a little from his outstanding game last week, so I probably won't be on him. I'm going to be more in this actually mid-range, to be honest with you, for wide receiver this week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to live in the mid-range too. Like Amon-Ra is somebody at 6'9" that interests me. Amari at 6'5", those guys interest me. And if I can afford both those guys, I think they're both going to make it into my lineup. AP, are you going to be able to pay up at wideout this week? And if so, who do you like?
I mean, I hope so. Like Tyreek Hill. I mean, this dude just smashes each and every week. I mean, it's insane. Think about it. He only has, I think, I was reading 3 touchdowns on the year. And think about the kind of year he's having. In one of those games, he had 2 touchdowns. So, like, gosh, I mean, having a 2-touchdown game here against the Browns is a realistic expectation. Plus, all the targets he's getting, receptions, and he's always putting up the yards. So, at 9-1. Receivers loaded. Devontae Adams, I think 8-7 is in play. Cooper Kupp, 9K is in play. DeAndre Hopkins, 8K. He's very much in play. So we're going to have to find value somewhere because I love a lot of these high-priced receivers. Justin Jefferson, 8.8K. Like, there's just so much upside at the receiver position. I'm going to have to focus up and find, some good value plays. Even my guy Mooney, he's getting priced up like 5.5K. Like, I think he was in the 4Ks last week. He's been a guy I've been looking at. I don't know. I think receiver is loaded. As far as values go, look, like with Kansas City, McCole Hardman at 4,500 is such a good value. Like, if you've been watching this offense, he's like Mahomes' number 2 guy now. Like, they are trying to find ways to get him the ball, whether that's out of the backfield running and especially in the red zone too. Like, I keep wanting MVS to work. It's just not working. Tony obviously is going to start working into the mix, but man, I'm telling you, McCole Hardman at 4,500 should make for a really good value play this week.
Lux, I like McCole Hardman. I don't even hate like a guy.
You like McCole Hardman?
Oh, they better play him this week.
Yeah, I thought you were a huge McCole Hardman hater.
I am a huge McCole Hardman hater, but I mean, they're trying to get him the ball. Like, you can't ignore that. Yeah, just because I don't like a player doesn't mean I'm not going to like the usage. I don't like him as a player. I think he sucks. I think he's got hands made of skill.
That's it. You're not wrong there.
Yeah,
he dropped some of the craziest balls. It's so frustrating.
I had a buddy I used to play football with, and I used to call him Skillets because he couldn't catch the ball. Like, McCole Hardman is the professional version of Skillets. Like, it's just the dude can't catch. So I don't know. Lux, I assume you like Hardman too. I don't hate Kadarius Toney either.
Yeah. I don't mind. I don't mind Hardman. I think Toney kind of gets into the offense a little bit more, so maybe he steals some targets from him. Another option down here in the value range you're talking about, Cooper, is Donovan Peoples-Jones possibly against Miami. Quietly 81 yards, 71 yards, 74 yards at 12, 12, and 11. I'll take that at $4,300. If he finds the end zone, there you go. Gets you close to 20 points. Definitely interesting there. If you're talking about cheap value, Claypool, maybe he gets into the mix a little bit. We've seen Justin Fields look a little bit better. He got 6 targets in his first game with him. I mean, he's only $4,800 and it's against Detroit. So there's a play for you there. I don't know. There's just it's loaded at wide receiver. So I'm going to be finding myself in this low range, mid range. I love Amon-Ra. I love Olave against Pittsburgh. Gabe Davis is in another great spot. There's so many in this mid range value that I think this is where I'm going to be living this week at wideout, aside from obviously Tyreek, because he's just a smash every week.
Yeah, and let's not forget Wandale. Like, I know that he really shit the bed as chalk a few weeks ago, and that was 2 weeks ago. It feels like forever, but he's still the number one wide receiver at 4,700 against Houston. Like, I don't know if I can play he and Saquon together. That feels a little weird, but I don't hate Wandale at 4,700 and absolutely no ownership. Hardman at 4,500 is somebody I totally have interest in. Golly, what a world. It's tough to believe that Toney is more expensive than Hardman. Here's a question for you. They're the same price, AP. Pacheco or Toney?
Gosh, a week of practice, probably Kadarius Toney.
Okay, I don't know.
I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's Andy Reid. Andy Reid's a player. Like, he's going to want to give him some love. Like, and Pacheco. I think the Chiefs could be tilting this week. Any of these guys could get I'm going to be backtracking my love for Hardman the more I think about it. But now Hardman, it's a price thing, and it's just he's the reliable guy right now, or somewhat reliable since they're feeding him. But I don't know. I mean, the more I look at it, though, Kansas City is going to be pretty tilting this week.
All right, let's talk some tight end. I've been playing with a few builds as this show has gone on. I can't find a way to pay up. I can't do it. Like, I just have to save money at this position. Travis Kelce, though, at 7-8, I imagine we're going to see a lot of people saying, I can't find a way to pay up at tight end. AP, I guess I'll start with you since you're the Chiefs guy. Is this a Kelce week?
I mean, it's just if we do think Kansas City wins big here, it's going to be a spot where Mahomes can just distribute it and give, some love to all these dudes where, the focus isn't maybe going to be on Kelce. So with that in mind, and with how stacked the, spend up options are at receiver, I'm with you, Crain. Like, I think we're going to have to find, a nice value play. You could go right back to, thinking of Justin Fields. If you're playing him, you could go Cole Kmet. They looked like they were in sync last week. Tight ends against the Lions, I could get on board with that. My main thing is I don't know. I'm gonna try to find some value though at the tight end position, and I'm gonna hope that Travis Kelce doesn't punish me for avoiding him or fading him here, because I'll probably be off of him this week.
Yeah, I will too. Guys, before we get Lox's take on tight end, I want to ask you guys a few things. First, click that like button, click that subscribe button. It helps us out over at Run Pure Sports. And I haven't bugged you guys about it all show, so I need you to do it right now. Click that like button, click that subscribe button. It's that big red button down here. Helps us out quite a bit. And of course, NBA is back over at Run Pure Sports, and it's our best sport. We've already had a bunch of shippers over at Run Pure. And if you guys want the plays, if you guys want the playbook, if you guys want the NBA hardwood, the final countdown, we got a lot of stuff going on. Come be a member over at Run Pure Sports. We got a lot of ways to help you win an NBA DFS. And one of the ways that I like to do it is I'm always hanging out in the Discord before NBA lock, because there is no sport where it's more important to know what's going on right up until the last minute than NBA, because you get all the players sitting, you got the boo-boo on their pinky, so now they can't play. And it's obnoxious. And you need some people out there to help you out. And of course, our coordinators are always hanging out in the Run Pure Sports chat. I know I see AP in there all the time. I see Locks in there all the time saying, if player A is out, this is what you need to do with that situation. And it is invaluable. So I would highly recommend checking out the product over at Run Pure Sports. Subscribe for a month, see if you like it. It's going to be worth your time. And of course, we get the core plays. And this is what I do. I'm no NBA expert. Okay. When I do the NBA shows, they have me hosting for a reason, but I am in there all the time playing NBA, and it's been a profitable year. Why? Because I'm paying attention to those core plays. I'm opening up. I'm seeing who Hoops playing, who Locks is playing, who AP is playing, and I am using that information to build my own lineups, and it's been good so far. So yeah, it's I don't want to say it's free money, but it's about as damn close as you can get. So yeah, if you're a member, make sure you check that out, because it is invaluable if you're playing NBA. I don't know how I would play NBA without it, honestly. Like, I don't want to be a slave to projections. I want the guys that are watching the games. I want to be able to say, okay, these guys are winning on their own, and these are who they're playing. It's hilarious, because I don't know of another place that says, okay, here are the 5 guys we're playing. Come beat me. Like, that's insane to me. Like, these guys are all playing high stakes. They say, they have their core plays up there saying, here are the 5 guys I'm playing. I'm still going to win all the money, and I'm going to help you win all the money. It's hilarious to me. So yeah, come be a member over at Run Pure Sports. It helps us out. And also, again, just going to say right now, click that like button. That also helps us out. Locks, help us out with some tight ends this week.
Yeah, definitely some interesting spots. And there's some value here. I see a lot of value. The one that I see, actually, JSU mentioned him on Sunday. It made me put him in my lineups and switch out Brock Wright. James Mitchell at 2,700. I just think with Hawkinson being gone, I think he is going to slowly garner more targets. He's going to get the red zone looks. The guy's tall, scored a touchdown last week. He only caught 2 passes for 8 yards and a touchdown, but at 2,700, you don't need a whole lot more than that, especially when it's allowing you to pay up at other spots. So definitely a guy I have high interest in. I think he's just going to continue to get more looks, especially in the red zone. And Amon-Ra is really the only wide receiver that the guy's got to throw to. So I don't mind him at 2,700. Another guy is Miarek for the Giants. Definitely some value there. Possible to get a few targets, get in the end zone. When Daniel Jones gets down there, he looks for his tight ends. So, and I'm just speaking on value here, because I'm not paying $7,800 for Kelsey this week. I'm not doing it. If I pay up, it's going to be $5,300, but that's not spending up to me really. Hawkinson, I called it last week. Kirk Cousins loves his tight ends, right? We were all worried because it's Hawkinson's first game with Minnesota. Guy caught 9 balls for 70 yards. I think that just continues. I think he gains rapport with him, and he's going to find the end zone one of these weeks. I think he can break a slate at $5,300 possibly at the tight end position. So definitely some spots that interest me here. Those are some few plays I'll have in there, but that's kind of where I'm leaning right away at the first look here.
Yeah, on my builds, I'm kind of landing in this $3,300 to $3,800 range. And there's so many guys here. Knox, I don't think, and again, this is first look, I don't think Gesicki is the craziest play this week. Higbee, Bob Tunyon, Dalton Schultz, like AP, when you look at this range, what do you do? Because all these guys are, I don't know, they all feel like the same play to me.
Yeah, the Packers just suck right now.
Oh, they're so bad. Like, and Vegas is finally.
That's your team, right?
Yeah, it sucks, dude. It's a bad year.
Vegas has finally caught on. I mean, they have a team total of 18.
Yeah, it's
brutal.
I mean, like Rodgers just seems like he's constantly on tilt. It's just like, man, like it can't go there. And Dallas defense is good, like really good.
Go the other side of that and Dalton Schultz.
Yeah, you could do that. I could get on board with that. I do like the Hawkinson call too, 5-3. I think that's fine. It gets thin down here. Like I think like what I've been doing is I'll eliminate a bunch of dudes. I'll have a somewhat smaller pool, and I'll give them all some sort of a similar projection, and it's whoever the optimizer decides to throw in there. I end up being content with. That's if like I don't have a strong feeling about them, and it could be a week like that, if we need value, maybe we do go to the Detroit side there. Did you say you like Brock Wright or James Mitchell?
James Mitchell.
James Mitchell, yeah. So I could get on board with that as well.
Yeah. I can't help but think that Dawson Knox is going to be popular, and the guy just isn't getting usage. Like, I don't know. Like, want to like Doc. Go ahead, Knox.
That's when he busts out, though. That's when he has those 2 touchdown games.
I get it. Like, I'm not arguing with you because I got down here, and I'm building kind of my first lineup right now as we do the show. That's how I roll. And he was the guy I clicked on. And it just feels so weird because I got the money to get up to Tunyon, to Schultz, Gesicki, Dulcich. Like, I don't know. It's tough.
Knox isn't a bad call. I mean, he's got the 4th highest ceiling on the slate. When you got Josh Allen throwing you the ball, I mean, we've seen it last year. There's a couple games where he busted out for a couple touchdowns. When he's kind of like the Gabe Davis at tight ends. He has his games where he just goes off and breaks the freaking slate. It can happen. And at $3,300, why not throw in a few?
All right. Is there anybody down here like AP that piques your interest? Like any interest in Higbee and Schultz? Like
I owe it. Like Higbee's always like the guy that optimizers love, cash game guys love. That I'm never playing Tyler Higbee. He just always seems to get ownership. So,
and we're past the point of him getting.
It's I think it's going to be one of those weeks where one of these like cheap 2K guys does like get there and at really low ownership though. Like it could be. I mean, the Raiders are so bad right now. Colts are almost just as actually Colts are worse. But it could be like a Mo Alley Cox or Jelani Woods. I mean, I don't know which one. I'm just saying it could be one of those guys. Like unless Sam Ehlinger is just absolutely terrible, we're going to find out a little bit more about him.
He is.
We're going to find out though more about him this week because the Raiders are bad. Like the Raiders, like they're so bad. I could talk forever about how bad that organization is.
Well, speaking of bad teams, we always try and find a cheap defense, and that usually comes from a bad team here. Locks, looking at the defense, like if we can spend up, obviously we're going to spend up. If we have that money, we're going to look at the Giants against Davis Mills. We're going to look at the Cowboys against, God, it's so weird seeing it. It's so weird seeing a defense against Aaron Rodgers as the most expensive defense on the slate, but that's where we're at right now. We get, I don't think the Bills against Minnesota, if we like the Bills onslaught, I don't think that's the craziest thing. Locks, looking at defense, it's going to be tough to spend up, but if you can spend up, where are you going?
Yeah, I don't know. To be honest, I'm looking at this and it's looking pretty bleak down here.
I want to play the Bills. I'm just going to say I want to play the Bills defense.
Where are they at?
They're at 3,700.
3,700. So that's paying up there. I'm just looking at the cheap ones. I don't like a whole lot other than maybe Denver at $3,000. That's the one that kind of piques my interest just because if they stop Henry, I think they have a good game as far as defense goes.
Man, by the way, AP, I just put Buffalo into my team, and I had just enough money for Mo Alley Cox.
All right.
So there you go. Okay.
I can always get on board. I can get on board with that. Him or Jelani Woods. I mean, they have 3 tight ends though.
He's had 4 targets in the last 5 weeks.
I don't. another cheap defense I don't mind is Arizona against the Rams. I mean, Stafford just turns the ball over. So.
Oh, you know who we didn't talk about? Our boy Greg Dulich.
I mentioned him.
Oh, did you? All right. Yeah. I wasn't paying attention. That's bad.
All right.
My apologies, Crane.
Thanks for listening. So yeah, Arizona I think is fine. Pittsburgh, it wouldn't shock me if Pittsburgh ended up being the chalk at 2,800 because that was the first place I looked at, and usually that is a pretty good indication of where the chalk's going to be. Lox, what do you think about Pittsburgh?
I don't mind them. $2,800. It's hard not to. I mean, I'm just one that I'll try to find a cheap defense every week because I don't like paying $4,000. There's too many other spots I spend up for. So last week it was I think I played the $2,000 defensive Jets and it worked out okay. So I don't mind Pittsburgh at all at 2,800.
AP, what stands out for you at defense?
Yeah, just, thinking about how the Chiefs are going to tilt people fantasy-wise. I kind of like their defense, man. They're aggressive. Trevor Lawrence is prone to throwing interceptions. They're going to be bringing the house. So a lot of sack, a lot of potential scoop and score opportunities, pick six opportunities. Spagnuolo, he's an aggressive defensive coordinator. And you got to think in these spots where you can just put the foot down and he's going to do it. So I do like the Chiefs defense this week.
All right, Chiefs defense, and
I'm always big on like the punt 2K ish. I almost locked in the Jets last week. I was just very confident that I don't see any like really good 2K spots this week. It's tougher for sure.
Like if I think the cheapest I would be willing to go is Green Bay at home against Dallas. Like I can't imagine going cheaper than that. I'm not playing Cleveland against Miami. I'm not playing Minnesota against Buffalo. I'm not playing Jacksonville. I mean, I know you said Arizona Lox. I think that's fine. It's just, man, it's just tough to click on the Arizona defense. It's a tough button to click on.
I don't know. They haven't been horrible. And if we're spending down, I don't mind them. I like them better than Pittsburgh, I think.
All right. So, looking at the slate, AP just kind of as a whole, like to me, I'm spinning up for one running back. I'm probably playing Fields at quarterback. I'm going to try and live in this 6K range for a few of my wide receivers. Kind of, first look, what do you see, Lock or AP?
Yeah, I mean, in tournaments, like if Fields is going to be over that 20% mark, I am going to want to try to find ways to get off of that chalk, just because we've seen guys get steamed up, and there's paths to failure there for sure. So I see it as try to find ways to get these high price receivers in your lineup. I want two of them. I'm talking Tyreek Hill. I'm talking Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson. Those types I think are going to be the key. I see them putting up a monster number. So I'm going to do whatever I can to get those type of guys into my lineups this week.
Lox, what do you see at the first look?
Yeah, first look, I'm probably going to be spending up a little at QB. Wide receiver, I'm going to live in that mid-range, low value. Running back, I'll be spending up a little bit, and then obviously value at tight end and defense. That's kind of my rundown on things. And just to touch base, guys, if you're not winning with us, you're going to watch us win. Trevor Bryan literally joined a month ago, and the dude just hit 500K. So you're missing out on a lot if you're not joining us. You're just going to keep watching it happen. So hit that like button, subscribe to us. You'll get some winners too. Just follow along and pay attention. Like Crain said, live in that Discord. AP's in there. We're all in there giving you guys up to the minute plays, answering your questions, this person versus this person, whatever you guys got, just dive in and we'll pick some winners for you.
All right. That is the damn truth. We got to get out of here. We got stuff to do. We got lineups to build. We got NBA going on tonight. And I was in the NHL streets last night. I scripted NHL last night. That was I didn't win,
nice.
But it was a fun experience. I got a nice little offer from DK. I was like, I guess I'm playing NHL. Okay. Good time. But we got to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. AP, thank you. Lox, thank you. I'm Eric. Thanks, Simon, for producing. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.